Someone recently suggested in a comment that I do a get ready with me, like, chatty little video. Here's the thing. I don't go anywhere. My life consists of going to school, work, or home. So I figured the next best thing is get ready for bed with me. Chatty little video. The comment was really sweet and was asking for me to do a chit-chat video on, like, girl stuff, drama, experiences, life things, friends, relationships, how to be confident, etc. So I think we'll try and tackle a couple of those in this video. Before we get started, go grab a snack, go grab a drink, let's hydrate together as well, and we'll get started. I'm actually gonna go grab my water too. To get started, honestly, I don't feel like I'm really involved in drama anymore. My own. I am so nosy. If I can be in other people's drama, like, not in it, but like pressed up against it, knowing every little detail, you already know I am gonna be a part of it. However, I want to be a fly on the wall. Like, that's all I want to be. But my own drama, I really haven't had any. And that mainly has to do with the fact that I have about 3 friends. No, I have a good group of friends. We're all just getting older. Like, if there's any hint of drama, I just don't have the patience for it at this point in my life. Like, I just want to talk it out. Like, if someone's upset with me, that's fine. Just tell me if I did something wrong, if they did something wrong. Like, I'd rather just have relationships where there can be open and clear communication than, you know, the mess that is drama. I had a lot of drama in middle school and high school, as I'm sure many people do, and I had enough for a lifetime. But I will say with that drama, when I was younger, I wish I had learned sooner when to cool off, bite my tongue, and, like, think through my actions a little bit more. And again, this is something that just comes with age. You know, I act so differently in situations now at 23 than I did 5 years ago at 18. And even more so than when I was like 13. Oh my god, 10 years ago? Whoa. It's okay. Aging is a beautiful thing. Relationships. Oh, that is that's quite the topic. I feel like I could honestly do a whole video on this itself. Oh, you know what? I'm just gonna be super open and honest. I have actually been dealing with and, like, working through a lot of relationship baggage that I carried into my now relationship, and it's something I didn't realize until recently, because my boyfriend and I, we have been dating. He's actually the first guy I've ever dated for longer than 2 years. We just have a very healthy dynamic. Like, he's very good for me, balances me out, everything that I need in a partner. What I didn't know, often when you find that healthy relationship and that partner, that's almost where your baggage seems to come out more so. And a lot of this baggage I really thought I had healed from, like, years ago. Turns out I had just moved past it. So, for example, when I was in high school, one of my first boyfriends, we were very toxic because I didn't know any better. We had very similar personalities to the point where it was very bad for us, only because we could fight like we had similar personalities. You know, in high school, you're 16, you hear rumors, there's not a lot of trust in the relationship, right? So that led to a lot more fights. Often when we were fighting and I was getting a lot of anxiety, I'm trying to call him, he wasn't picking up. When the relationship ended, honestly, it was at the point where, like, I knew that we were so toxic, I was almost relieved. And so I was just, like, ready to move on. And now I've noticed with my current relationship, if my boyfriend's just busy, it has started to, like, bring up that feeling again, even though they're completely different circumstances. Like, my boyfriend could be busy, like, mowing the lawn, and I get anxious because I'm having those feelings again because I haven't, like, processed and worked through them, but I am now. But something else too is that relationships are so... I haven't had many, I'll be honest. I've had 4 relationships, I would say. Yeah, I've had 4 relationships, and they've all been pretty long-term. And I think the past 3 all of them I stayed in way too long, simply because I was too afraid to basically start over new with someone. And yet, every single relationship I got out of, a better door opened for me afterwards. But I think getting out of any relationship, there's always that fear of, what if nobody likes me again? Or I don't want to go through that getting to know you stage. I don't want to be hurt, blah, blah, blah. Oh, there's something in my eye. But honestly, every relationship that ended was a blessing for me, which is unfortunate because in a perfect world, you'd meet your person and just be done with it. You just meet the one person and you're good. But it doesn't work like that, you know? My first boyfriend and I, we were just really young. We were like freshmen in high school. And then my second boyfriend in high school, we were super toxic. I ended up moving in the middle of high school. Him and I tried to do long distance for a year. Terrible idea. I think we're all hopeless romantics and want to think that, okay, teenage romances don't last, but I'm the exception. Typically, you're not. And even if you are, honestly, I wouldn't have wanted to be. Because the person I am now, from when I met him at 14, 15, like, drastically different. We clashed then, we would clash even more now. And I'm not afraid of that growth. Like, that's a good thing. My third boyfriend and I, it's funny because I was working through this in therapy recently and I thought I would be the most mad at that boyfriend. Like, I thought I was the most hurt. Turns out, not the case. Toxic boyfriend takes that for the win. What I learned from my third relationship is that you can't will someone into being who they don't want to be. And sometimes, no matter how much you support someone, how much you encourage them, how much you're there for them, if they don't want to do it for themselves, you can't do it for them, you know? And this person ended up moving away. I didn't want to do long distance again. There was a lot of animosity between us, and I held some resentment because the conversations we did have, I don't think either one of us were heard. And then by the time it came down to him staying or leaving, you know, he left with his family. That was one of the hardest things I think I've ever had to go through, but also I think it's one of the best things that I've ever had to go through. And I think that that taught me so much because you want to be a priority to someone. You want to be enough to where they'd stay. Not only would they stay, but they would move mountains for you. But more importantly than that, I learned that you have to be that person for yourself. And in the nearly 2 years that we were dating, I felt like I had grown so much and I was nearly finished with college. And so by the time we were at that point, it just felt like we had grown so far apart, like we were moving in different directions. And again, I was so scared and terrified to let that go just because I was like, what's out there? Like, what does that mean for me? This is it. Like, I thought this was, I thought I was done dating and I wasn't. And I can say it with my whole heart now that I'm so thankful I wasn't. And it's something that you don't notice at the time, but the little things in a relationship really add up too. And I almost don't think that you realize it until you have them now, which I do. And it's small things like my boyfriend now, my lovely boyfriend, remembering like my favorite chocolate, remembering my Starbucks order, just all the little things. The best example I have is before we were even dating, we were friends and we were driving around together looking at Christmas lights. And one of the Wicked songs came on and I made an offhand comment just being like, oh my god, this is so funny. I've actually never seen this musical, but I know the entire soundtrack. Next thing I know, this man had picked up tickets for us to go see Wicked. I already knew that I liked him way before that, but that was like one of the moments where I was like, wow, like he really likes me. Honestly, he's shown me every day without even having to say it, and it's like, those are the little moments and the little things that are just different and they make you like so appreciative. that was like so mushy. Like I said, I could literally talk for an entire video about this, but we will move on. Oops. Okay. The third part of this comment is how to be confident. When I find out, I will tell you. Honestly, I don't feel like there's ever been a time in my life where I've really been confident. Maybe that sounds ironic because I make videos online a lot, so I have to look at myself and it seems kind of vain, but it's also like I actually just make these videos because I have a terrible memory and I love recording and capturing moments, even if they're moments of myself, because I'm only going to be 23 once. And I love looking back at videos of when I was 18, 19, and really stupid and also really funny. But I've changed a lot, you know, and I don't ever want to stop seeing myself and appreciating my growth. That doesn't mean confidence at all. I think it's more so that I just really try not to care too much about what people think, and of course that's way easier said than done, but my wants out of life are far greater than the criticism of random people on the internet will ever be. And this just so happens to be something I want to do. But what I will say is, over the last month, I've really taken the time to invest in myself, even in little moments. So like I've been walking 6 days a week. I've been blow drying or like doing my hair every time that I'm showering, which normally I just let it air dry because my hair is naturally straight. I've been playing around with my makeup a little bit more. Just things that make me feel good and I don't have to have a reason to do them. That's really, really helped me. Unfortunately, I'm really sad and disappointed to report this news, but staying off of TikTok really helps with self-confidence. And especially actually just any social media, honestly. Yeah. Which of course we all know and it's part of the territory. But I've just been taking a break from scrolling so much and I'm just like enjoying making my own content and not really looking at anyone else's. And it's made me feel really good. The last thing that I think would help is having a hard conversation with yourself about where you're at and where you want to be, and then loving and enjoying every step of the journey. Because it really resonated with me when I heard that you can't hate yourself into a version of yourself that you love. The version of myself that I have now, I have hated for so long, and it has nothing to do with my weight, it has nothing to do with my skin, because I've been so much lighter, and I hated the way I looked. I've been heavier, and I've hated the way I looked. Like, there's never been a point where I've been happy and satisfied and really felt good, and obviously that just stems from my mindset. It has nothing to do with me. All I can do is love myself and improve and just work towards a better tomorrow while loving where I'm at today. Oh, it sounds so cheesy. I'm sorry. The last thing I want to talk about is mental health and just give a little update because of a video last month in Vlogmas. Ever since New Year's, I've actually felt really good. Like, I feel like a weight's been lifted off of me. I feel like I'm coming into the year with such a clear head and so determined to get better. And I honestly feel like it's because I had this conversation with myself, knowing that no one could or would do it for me. And I finally just had to tell myself, like, if you want to be happy and if you want a better life, you have to be the one to do it. And that's not an easy conversation to have with yourself, but it was a necessary one. And I'm so against like huge monumental changes. I'm not sitting here waking up at 5 a.m. and drinking my greens. That's not the secret. Surprise, surprise. It's not gonna help. All I've been doing differently is prioritizing myself every single day in small amounts instead of waiting for like a self-care Sunday. No, one day a week doesn't undo 6 days of ignoring your needs and your wants. So instead, I do little things each day. Like I'll take extra time to do my skincare, or I'll take extra time to read, or lately, because I've been on break, I've been taking so much more time than I usually would to play my Switch. But it's making me happy, and I'm not gonna feel guilty anymore for doing things that just make me feel good, even if I'm just sitting down, even if I'm not being productive. Like, who gives a shit, first of all? I've also just been happy, bro. Like, I'm not gonna question it too much, you know? I think another hard realization I had to come to in the last year was that no one has your best interest at heart like you do. And sometimes when people are encouraging you to take one step in life, it's really for their own benefit, whether it makes their job easier because they already know you, or whether it would be cool to brag because they helped you get there, or they know you, or blah blah blah. It's not always for your benefit. And maybe it is, maybe that's where their intentions lie, but that doesn't mean that it's the right step for you. And I feel like I spent so long being afraid that I turned down a job before I started my master's degree, and I was so scared that it was the wrong decision. Finally, what I'm coming to terms with is that it's my life. And if it didn't feel right, then it wasn't right. Point blank period. It doesn't matter what it was. It was not right for me. At that time, I need to start trusting in myself and knowing myself enough that I'm gonna make those best decisions for me. No one else will. Oh my god, this was so much fun. Okay, I love these little chatty, get ready with me videos. I'm gonna go change to my pajamas, hop into bed, and hopefully sleep through the night. Get a full 8 to 10 hours of sleep, whatever my body's feeling like I need. I woke up at like 4:30 this morning and couldn't fall back asleep, and it's now 10:30. Count the hours on the clock. How many is that? How many have I been awake? Well, guys, as always, have an absolutely amazing day, week, month. Whenever you're watching this, go out and live an amazing life. And as always, be kind to others.